Hi guys, so happy to see both of you because it's that time of the year where we have yet another PSL, HBL PSL. It's season 8 that we're looking at. And first of all, hello, because I haven't seen you guys in a while.
I know, my gosh, it's crazy. I saw you in Australia for the World Cup not that long ago, Zainab, but other than that, it feels like a long time ago, but also like it was just yesterday that we were doing HBL PSL 7. So I'm so excited to say I'm back, baby. I'm so excited.
No, you're back again.
Yeah, Bazid's like, I think I'm
The
unavailable
diva.
now.
Can I log off? Can I
rude.
switch off?
Erin, are you a bit of a diva? He just called you a diva. I think people want to know where if Erin Holland behind the scenes is a real diva. You know, we've seen you on screen, but are you a real diva behind the screen?
Absolutely not. I'm a trooper. I think, hopefully, I hope that you would back me up here with this setup. We're not nowhere near as polished and well presented as we seem when we're on camera. We're a bit of chaos, a bit of fun behind the scenes, and I think the best part about PSL is we've got like such a great little family now. I mean, this will be my 4th one. This is both of your 8th PSLs ever, but you know, you, me, Danny, Bazid, like, you know, it's the crew. We've been together for every single season. And, you know, I think that's the best part of this crew is like there are no divas. Everyone just pitches in and does what needs to be done.
The greatest thing about Erin is that she carries Quest bars. I hope you're bringing them again.
Oh,
you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh.
Bar.
You're gonna laugh. But I because you steal them and Danny Morrison steals them, so I brought 7 boxes to bring with me this year. So that's 7 times 12 bars. So if we get through those, we're doing very well.
The one thing I'm looking forward to in the PSL is the waiting in the car when you've done a double header and the security says you can't go and you're in the bus all ready to go, and then you sit there for 2 hours after having done what? Been there for 9 a.m. and it's 10 p.m. at night. That's the best part, don't you say?
Oh my God, the conversations and the singing and the chat that happens while you're waiting for security so you can leave, because obviously everything's so meticulously organized and planned, and you know, we love that, but then the waiting around, oh my gosh. I just remember, do you remember when we were in Islamabad and Corky sung us his test match song? I didn't play a test match to like the Elton. Oh my God, it's so funny. But we sat in the bus for hours that night for whatever reason. I think the players were carrying on in the change rooms and celebrating a win for like an extra hour. So of course we had to wait for them before the security could go, and we were getting real antsy. But I remember Zainab and Ramiz and a couple got their own car and they left before we did, and they
So
were
who's
home.
the diva then?
Zainab? I think Zainab and
I don't remember this.
I've got a photo.
Actually, in my defense, I would like to say that I'm always the last person to enter that bus because I have a post-match studio, which no one wants to do with me because no one wants to stay after the game. Like, I see this hesitancy. All the commentators have this gloomy look. So no one actually wants to be there after the match. But like, I think for me, because I think Bazid is like a HBL PSL veteran. You know, he's seen it all. And I started pretty much at the same time. So we've seen like 8 seasons. And the way I divide it is the first half was in Dubai. And the second half has been in Pakistan. And I think if we look back to the times that we spent in Dubai, they were also so much fun.
This is a story this is probably the 5th, 6th time that I've met Zainab. I don't really know her that well. The first game or the second game, we were having double headers every day. So the second game, she comes up to comms, she's taken her shoes off and she's saying, oh, my feet are hurting, I'm so tired and all that. And I said, yeah, it's a tough day. The next day, I think we're staying in, I don't know, not Media Rotana, the other hotel. So we get a big car, you know, that those big cars, combis like, and you have a little space, leg room. And Zainab pops into the car obviously takes her shoes off, and then she doesn't sit on the seat. She sits where you have your, basically you have your feet. She sits on the mat in front of the seat, and I'm thinking, she's a bit weird, isn't she?
Yeah, we've done some really weird things. In terms of the hardest PSL that we've done, I think it has to be, like, for me, it has to be the one that we did in Abu Dhabi. Erin, you weren't there, but it was during COVID, and I clearly remember I was doing a post-match show at a ridiculous hour, like, because we were starting the games late, remember? Because it was so hot in Abu Dhabi that when we had a double header, that used to finish at 1. I used to do a show at 1:30, at which time it was perhaps 3 a.m. in Pakistan. And I was always wondering, I was like, I think I even remember that I think Ramiz came on the show, like, off air, and he said, this is the graveyard show. Nobody watches it at 3 a.m. So, I mean, like, the work gets very tiring, but I just love the fact that we can all have a bit of fun. And I feel like Bazid has sort of really grown into his own person in this time. Like, it's been quite a journey. I've seen everybody's sort of evolution, and even with you, Erin, I feel like you're literally like now part of the family. It doesn't feel like, oh, we've got Erin coming from Australia. It pretty much feels like, oh, there's Erin and there's PSL. So, I mean, what's been challenging for you guys? Like, I don't know, like, I thought I'll mention what's been tough for me, which season was tough for me. Which has been a tough season for you, or a moment or a particular day that's been tough for you at the PSL?
Erin's probably the one where she was here in a different bubble to Ben, and she couldn't see him. She started crying, didn't she?
Oh my God, I had it.
She called me on. She did a video
meltdown.
call with me from I don't know, where were you, Erin? Was it Islamabad or?
No. So, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed now when I look back at that. That season was tough because I was so devastated that I wasn't there with you guys, because I'd done 2 in a row. I missed, I think it was PSL 6, it must have been. It must have been PSL 6. And Ben went 2 days after our wedding. He left to come and play PSL. I wasn't able to go with him, and I was devastated because I didn't find out until the last second that I wasn't able to make it. So I had so much FOMO that you guys were all over there without me. My new husband had left 2 days after, and I didn't see him for 4.5 months because he played PSL, then he played IPL, and Australia was locked, so he couldn't come back in between. So that was tough because I felt like I'm missing out. And then last season, we were in separate bubbles. So the players were in one bubble, the broadcast was in one bubble. And it was so strange to see him but not be able to get closer than the 2 meters in the 2 bubbles. And I remember calling Zainab, and you were back in Lahore because you had your baby, you were meeting us for the finals, but we didn't have you for most of the tournament. So I was missing you. I was missing Ben, but he was there and I couldn't see him. And I called you and I was crying my eyes out. It was so embarrassing. Because I was just, I think when all you do is work, which is obviously what we had to do to get the competition done last year as safely as we could with COVID. And you're working, like you were saying, Bazid, like it feels like by the time I start hair and makeup
She
to the
got
end of the
told off
day,
for standing too close to Ben.
I
That
did.
was another story as well.
I did. Oh my God. I was hysterical. I was so upset. And you were like, girl, pull yourself together. And I was like, okay, yes, I'm being ridiculous. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it's a pressured environment. I think obviously doing what we do is so much fun, and we take our work so seriously. You want to put on a great performance, and then you're watching your partner as well, and you ride the waves of their performances too. And I think, it just kind of, COVID was a lot for everyone, not just the players, but the broadcasters involved in order to make the competition happen. So I think there was about halfway through, and Zainab had to give me a real stern talking to.
Yeah, I was like, get with it, girl. I mean, what are you on about?
Come on.
Like, I was just like, this is gonna happen. Come on. But I remember, like, I was trying to remember. I thought, if there's one person who's kind of created a cult for himself when it comes to the PSL, is Bazid and his super over. I mean, his calls. I have to say that if there's anyone who can predict well, I don't know whether it's by fluke or whether it's by just an intuition or just the sheer, having that kind of, when you get a gut feeling that this is going to happen. But Bazid has called out the super over a couple of times, and it's happened in the HBL PSL. It's pretty amazing because, like you look around the world and there are leagues happening around the world right now, and there's not been a super over yet, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know when this is going to get out, but
no, we didn't have a
has
single
the
one in the Big
ability
Bash.
to have 2 super overs within 1 year's HBL PSL. I think we had that, right, a couple of years ago, where we had like 2 super overs.
You have to manifest it. You have to want it first, and then it happens. But it's more or less a fluke. There's one where Corky and myself were commentating, and it was never looking like a super over. And then about 3 overs out, I said, Corky, this is going to happen. He said, okay, let's manifest it. And we worked our way towards that super over. So you have to manifest it. Now, I'll tell you an iconic moment. Now, we've had poor moments. Yes, COVID was very tough. I'll tell you a real iconic moment for me in the PSL. It was when I had to race Erin in Abu Dhabi. And if you look at that race, probably people have it on social media somewhere. So the race
winner.
And Erin has sort of nudged me and said, somebody said to me that you're not going to win, are you? And I'm thinking, maybe I will. So the race starts and I'm leading. And if you look closely at the video, Erin sort of comes up to me and punches me a few times. And then eventually Erin won.
I can tell you that's the highest form of humiliation in our part of the world, Erin. So you go, girl. I think we need another race off. Bazid,
gosh.
For all of you, if you want to know, Bazid changes his loyalties very quickly.
Yes.
He senses the situation. And then he's like, actually, no, I need to be on this side. Like, he will change his stance very quickly. If you're in the bus with him, like, you have to, obviously we're all, trying to make conversation, and we're generally bored when we're going, there's a long journey or whatever. So to get something out of Bazid, you have to do a lot of prompting. You have to keep on digging in, because he knows all the information. Erin, he's like Mr. Know-it-all, but someone who keeps it to himself. So I think I quite enjoy my bus journeys with him, because I feel like I'm extremely entertained. Like that's the one thing that you need. You need entertainment on the on commentary. Have probably heard that as well. But I really enjoyed, like, you see, working has always been great, and it's a lot of fun, and we like to have a laugh or do our job, get on with our jobs and watch the game and talk about it. But I've enjoyed getting to know what other skills people have to offer off the field. So, for example, Butch playing the guitar. We've had some great nights with Butch. He's been so good with the guitar and his music, and he's got his, whole album. And, Danny has some other skills which I don't think I can really mention. I don't think I can really mention those skills, but he does have those skills, which I'm sure you both know what skills I'm talking about. But like, I really enjoy that. I like the fact that people have a personality. Everybody has a different personality, and they bring something to the table. Corky is extremely funny. Arooj is Miss Dentist. She's joined the team, and everybody goes to her to get their teeth fixed.
Yeah, I mean, but there's the whole, because I'm a singer, and obviously we try and sort of have, we call it Combox karaoke whenever we get a chance. And, Slats and I singing Lady Gaga's Shallow from, the movie when it's a rain day in Rawalpindi. We had quite a few wet games, unfortunately, rain affected games a couple of seasons ago. And, we get the iPhone down and get the music going. And, we did a couple of songs that went viral, I think, on YouTube and Instagram and things like that, which is really fun. And
I've actually got an interesting question for both of you, and I know that everybody has an answer in their head. Which commentator has complained the most in the HBL PSL? Like, I know that you guys have someone in your head, like somebody who moans a lot, who's always whining about certain things, little things which are off the field.
David Gower and the fruit machine last season, Bazid.
It's
You
the
need to mention
golden.
what happened.
It's the golden oldies, isn't it? Alan Wilkins, who's never happy with his room. He wants an
No.
executive room. He goes to a place, goes to a hotel,
Yeah.
takes a look at one room, sort of sits there for 10 minutes and goes, no, I don't want this. Then he goes to another room and he goes there and says, no, this doesn't have a balcony. Then he goes to a third room. So he needs to have everything perfect. David Gower is, he doesn't complain as much, but if you rub him the wrong way, or if he's, I think both Wilco and Gower are pretty much perfectionists when it comes to commentary. So if anything goes wrong during their stint, then you're in for it. And the fruit machine was had its days not working. And I think David Gower made sure that it didn't work for another 5 days.
And on the room thing, Bazid, one thing that I always, Danny Morrison has taught me well is when you walk into your room, if it doesn't have a bathtub, you walk straight back out again down to reception and you wait until they give you a room with a bathtub, because the man likes to have a bath and a long soak at the end of the day. And I just thought, I saw him and I went, have you been down here for an hour? He goes, oh, I'm just waiting for a room with a bath. I'm not leaving until I leave with a room with a bath. And I thought, smart man.
I'm not surprised, because they all have their own, their quirks, and they want to, sort of stick with them. But like, I don't know. I mean, like, generally, I think I've been mostly out of trouble. If I would like to imagine, I haven't really been, but I have this really bad habit of leaving my accreditation in my room. And that without that, you just cannot enter. And it's happened with me. I think it happened with me in Dubai once as well. I remember this. And, you really had to talk to the security and tell them what's happened, because, Dubai is like, in terms of being responsible and organized, I'm not organized at all. Like, I just pick up my stuff, whatever is in the room, because you know how it is, Erin, like we're literally running last minute, getting ready. Bazid doesn't have to do hair and makeup. Although his hair, I have to say,
I do have to
Bazid,
do hair.
I think it's time to reveal what goes on in your hair. This is an asked question from
No chance.
the audience.
That thing doesn't move. It does not move.
If I give away that secret, then I've got nothing. That's the only claim to fame that I have.
Erin, I've never seen Bazid's hair in its original state. Never.
Ever.
I've known him for so many years, but I've literally never seen it.
We have to catch him out at some point this season.
He's more high maintenance than all
many
of us.
other days. You won't see it
Zainab, I think
maybe another 8 seasons. Zainab says she never got into trouble. Now, I'll give you a story where we bailed her out. I don't know which season this is, but this is a season where Lahore had the final. It was the first time that it came to Pakistan. The final was in Lahore. So I walk into the Pearl Continental, Lahore, Wasim Akram, Wasim is there. We sit down, we're well early, and then we sit in our bus. Everybody's sitting in our bus, and Zainab's not arrived. And this is the first PSL final, and its security is absolutely tight. Everything's blocked off, but there's no Zainab. Now, Zainab's calling our liaison officer. She's messaging me that, my car's not getting through and whatnot. So in the end, we get out of the hotel and there's no Zainab. And throughout, once the convoy starts, it's not allowed to stop because of security. Yeah. So the convoy starts, and then we are in the middle of the road. We stop. Zainab jumps in, and then we start again. And the LO is that the liaison officer is getting calls and messages from the security. What are you doing? Why are you stopping? What's happening?
Yes, I do remember that. And I can tell you that time has always been a struggle for us, because Baz, you don't start getting ready 3 hours before the game. If the game is at 4, Erin knows we start getting ready at 12:30. And because, we have to be there. In fact, if the call time is 4, then we have to start getting it ready at 12:30. Whereas people like Baz and Danny,
That's
they
why
go
you
for the
paid the big
same.
bucks.
They get out of bed
Yeah.
half an hour before we go to work, Zainab, and you and I have been struggling with hair and makeup, and sometimes the artists know how to deal with my hair, sometimes they don't. Like it's
And
but
I
one
think
thing I do
people
love,
need to understand, like, behind all our, you getting all the feedback and comments on the looks or whatever that we do for PSL. I can tell you that the one thing that I absolutely hate about the PSL is the getting ready part. I hate the hair and I hate the makeup because you're so exhausted and you're just sitting there on your chair and getting your hair and makeup done. And like, I feel like these guys are so lucky. They just get up, put on their trousers, do nothing, and then just walk
Do
out.
nothing.
And it's just,
they have a
do
uniform.
absolutely
We have to
nothing.
decide what to wear every single game. And just on that, one of my favorite parts
We're
about
not given a choice. We just said, you wear this, okay, fine. You can wear whatever you like. So that's on you.
no, but that's one of the hardest, but also the best parts of PSL as well for me is exploring the local fashion. So when designers or when Zainab goes, hey, like I've got some friends, or I've got this designer wants to dress you, so they're going, okay, so like what's right? And I'll pick something. She's like, Erin, that's for a wedding.
Yeah,
that's
she
way
was
too
picking
sparkly
वो
for
सारे
no,
जो
come
गोटे
over
वाले
this
काम वाले
side.
कपड़े नहीं होते. Like she was
So
picking them for
pretty.
PSL, and I said, Erin, it's not a wedding. You have to realize that I know people are offering you that, but it's not a wedding. It's a sports event, so we can go glam, but not that glam.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
How did you
it's
dress for
always fun.
Sharjah, though, Erin? How did you dress for Sharjah?
Not what you told me. That was going to get me in trouble. He tried to stitch me up with that one.
that's what he's always doing. Okay, guys, I think I honestly, like in terms of stories, we could just go on and on and on about stories, and we've had so many great iconic moments with all the people that have come to Pakistan and commentators, whatever. But like, is there someone who you really had a lot of fun working with, like another commentator? I mean, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about apart from us. I would like to believe we have fun with each other. But anyone else who you really enjoyed, like Baz, you've enjoyed doing commentary with, or Erin, you've enjoyed, just hanging out or speaking to them. Like, is there anyone who you really sort of enjoyed working with?
Look, it'll be difficult to say just one, but there's three or four who you really look forward to working. Obviously, Danny Morrison's also been with us since 7 seasons or something like that. So he's always fun. If Ian Bishop comes, if he comes, he's quite fun because he's the one who's quite serious, and then you have to crack him up. So that I enjoy. Corky's fun as well. I enjoyed Darren Ganga as well, and obviously the usual suspects. But saying that, narrowing it down and saying one person that you really enjoyed, that I think would be slightly unfair on the others. Obviously, I don't enjoy working with Zainab or say Erin or even Mazars if you bring him up as well. Erin, have you switched your name back to Erin, or is it still Eric, as a great friend Hoji used to call it?
So my first ever PSL, Brad Hogg was on the team, and he accidentally called me Eric live on air, and then Matthew Hayden and Graham Smith just took it and ran with it, and then I get Eric, I get Bones from Danny. He goes, let's get down to Bones on the sideline. It's in Australia, if you've got a nickname, if someone's making fun of you, it means you're part of the team. So it's nice that I get the Mickey taken out of me a little bit. I think it makes me feel like I actually belong.
It's almost like this year I was just doing another job, like another league, and everyone, I had to correct them a few times. Everyone in the team was calling me Zainab, Zainab. There were a few people, and I heard it once on air, second, and then I was like, no, I need to correct this. You get start getting irritated if I'm calling, let's say, Bazid, if I keep calling you Bazid, Bazid.
I'm going to call you
If I
Bazid
keep
now.
calling you that,
Hey,
you on
Bazid.
air, you do get irritated that that's not my name. So eventually I just think to them, I said, guys, it's Zen. I'm sure it's not that tough to pronounce it. And then they were like, yeah, but it's interesting because, on air, it just like, you normally use nicknames as well. Like I don't mind using that. Baz, Z, Erin, your name is so small and simple that I don't really need to remember that.
Ezra.
But
Ezra.
we also have Baz. I was thinking that people have heard so much about all the commentators. I mean, how can we forget our very own Mr. Tariq Saeed? He's been part of the PSL for the longest time. And I think the kind of quirks that he brings to the table, nobody can even compete in that department.
Well, we'll have to have another separate Zoom call for that. Ihsanullah, the guy who makes tea for us, he is so against Tariq Said because Tariq Said makes him sort of rub his shoulders first to get him into the stint. And then he goes up to him and says, give me chai, give me tea. And he makes the tea. And what Tariq Said does is that he puts the tea right next to him, never drinks it, right next to him when he's commentating. That gives him some kind of comfort that if anything happens, he'll drink the tea. And also, he doesn't allow anybody to put the aircon on.
Yeah. So on that note, I think, guys, I need to have.
We'll see you later, and we see a lot of you anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm like, I'm not missing you guys at all because I know that I'll be seeing you very shortly.
I'm
and
so
then
gutted that
begins.
Erin is coming and Ben isn't. So gutted.
Ben
is
Ben is coming. Ben is coming.
Brilliant.
He's a Karachi
Brilliant.
king. We're very excited. I'm so excited for him. Yeah, we just got picked up in the supplementary round.
Ships very frequently. Sometimes he's with Peshawar, sometimes he's with he's been
Quetta.
He's been going around in circles. But
he certainly has. So don't worry, Bazid, he's back.
Yeah.
Ben is back.
All right, guys. I shall catch you guys later. It was great catching up with you. And the stories are endless. I think if we start, like I said, there's no end to it in terms of what happens. It's a lot of fun, really a lot of work as well. I think people don't understand that aspect. They just feel like, oh, they're having such a good time. We are. But it's a lot of hard work as well. And I just hope that we have the best HBL PSL season 8. And looking forward to seeing all of you.